This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 5, police say he showed no remorse when he was told that a mother and her daughters died in a crash caused by his semi-truck. More coming up on the truck driver's first day in court.
And the heat is not letting up yet. In fact, it's going to feel even warmer than it did yesterday before we finally get a break next week. It is 5 o'clock on your Friday morning. Thanks for joining us. I'm Meredith Barrett.
And I'm Lauren Casey. Todd Clausen with us right now to talk about this heat wave. We're in day 2. And Todd, it's crazy. I feel like I don't even want to step outside. It's sunny.
It's 80 degrees right now at 5 o'clock in the morning, and we're actually figuring in a heat index value already this morning. So, yeah, yesterday we got up to 93. It felt like it was well over 100 degrees with the heat index value, and today we're probably going to be a couple degrees warmer with the actual temperature, and that's going to push the heat index value up a couple degrees as well. There's that temperature of 80 degrees right now in Indy. Everywhere else, with the exception of Muncie and Terre Haute, is in the 70s, 79 in Bloomington, 79 in Lafayette. I mentioned those heat index values. Here they are. Feels like 86 degrees right now at 5:01 in the morning in Indianapolis. 87 is what it feels like in Muncie. 83 in Lafayette. It's going to be a scorcher across the area. Now, yesterday we had that complex of storms that rolled through Chicago and it caused a lot of flight diversions here into Indianapolis. Today, all the storms should stay to our north. So while we maintain that isolated storm threat yesterday in northern locations, today is going to be completely dry for us from start to finish. It is all about the heat. We're up to 87 by the noon hour. 96 is your high temperature later on this afternoon with hazy sunshine. Your heat index value gets up to about 105 to maybe a little bit higher than that later on this afternoon. We'll talk more about the relief towards the end of the weekend coming up in a few minutes, but right now it's time to get a look at traffic here in this 5 o'clock hour.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. And some of the people working out in the heat even this morning, construction workers. Here's a look at a project ongoing right now in the southbound lanes of I-69. This is a live picture at 106th Street where you can see those 2 right lanes are blocked. The arrow board shifting traffic over to the left, and it's already pretty heavy even at this early hour. So just expect some slowdowns as you travel through Fishers this morning on the southbound side. Well, close to half the country is facing the dangerously high temperatures over the next few days. An excessive heat warning continues right here in central Indiana, and with the weekend right around the corner, we spoke with Homeland Security about the top things to remember if you plan to spend time outside.
I think the first thing is to make sure they dress accordingly. Loose-fitting clothes and covering a lot more of your body will help. And we're not talking like heavy garments. We're just talking about light, loose-fitting clothes to help keep some of the sun and UV rays off of you. And remember to stay hydrated. Try to keep something on your head if you're going to be in direct sunlight.
RTV6 checked in today with people who spend their days working outdoors, from construction workers to lifeguards. Everyone told us the key to making it through the heat is water, and sometimes just drinking it is not enough.
Lifeguard safety is huge because if our lifeguards aren't safe, our pools can't be safe. We make sure that they stay hydrated. They always have water at their stand. We will also take buckets around and dump it on their legs.
Well, we also checked in with counselors at an Indy Parks camp who say they're trained to watch out for signs of heat exhaustion. You can learn more about the signs and symptoms, plus find a list of cooling centers open during this heat wave at theindychannel.com.
This morning, a man remains in critical condition after he suffered an electrical shock while working on a rooftop air conditioner. The 30-year-old man went into cardiac arrest after the shock while he was working at White River Christian Church in Noblesville. Firefighters had to use an aerial ladder truck and a Stokes basket to get him down. He is being treated at Riverview Hospital.
At 5:04 new this morning, Metro Police are looking for a shooting suspect on the northwest side. Police tell us that a person was shot and wounded just before 11:30 last night along Mission Drive. That's near West 46th Street and High School Road. Officers tell us that the victim was awake and breathing when they were taken to the hospital. So far, that's all the information that's been released.
A truck driver accused of causing a crash that killed a mother and her 2 daughters could face 19 years in prison. Bruce Pollard made his first court appearance since Sunday's crash. Prosecutors say he was going 65 miles an hour in a 45-mile-an-hour construction zone when he hit and killed Alana Coons and her young twins on I-465. State police confiscated data from Pollard's truck and found he didn't brake until he rear-ended the mother's car. Court documents filed show Pollard stated he is on a lot of medicine and has special pills to help him with anxiety. Pollard is charged with 3 counts of reckless homicide. His bond is set at $100,000. Now, deadly crashes happen every day in central Indiana, and our Call 6 team is investigating and digging into why this crash is considered a crime. Marion County Deputy Prosecutor Ryan Mears explained that just being negligent is considered a civil matter, but when someone is reckless, that means they disregard standards and it becomes criminal. In Bruce Pollard's case, prosecutors say he didn't hit the brakes until he rear-ended Alana Coons and her 2 daughters. Plus, his truck's data shows he was speeding in a construction zone.
Could more charges be coming?
This is a very significant investigation, and I think it's important to note that this all occurred within 4 days, and so this is an ongoing investigation. There's a lot of forensics involved in this particular case. We're also still putting together our accident reconstruction, and probably most importantly, we're also still trying to figure out the nature and the severity of the injuries to other individuals who were involved.
Call 6 Investigates found several examples of similar crashes in which the truck driver was not charged. Judith and Gerald Williams lost 7 of their family members in a fiery crash on I-65 in 2013. Records show the family's Jeep slowed for an upcoming construction zone, but the semi-driver was going 65 miles an hour and did not stop. The Jeep burst into flames, killing 7 people, including 4 children. The family begged for the driver, Howard Stratton, to be criminally charged, but the Jasper County prosecutor at the time told us negligent behavior alone is not enough to obtain a criminal conviction.
At 5:06, dozens of Hoosiers work in the sex industry here in central Indiana. Some of them want out, but sometimes it's easier said than done. But a new program is giving a hand to those who want a fresh start. Unconditional Ministries is a nonprofit that helps empower and support women in the sex industry. For 7 years, club owners across Indianapolis have allowed Unconditional to come in, bring gift bags to dancers, and offer help or friendship if they need it. Now they're partnering with Trace Fashion, a sustainable fashion company that creates comfortable workwear for women to provide jobs to those who have decided to step away from the industry.
When you're coming from the industry, you probably made good money while you were working. And so now you're dealing with going from making very decent money to now poverty level once you've left.
Well, you can see more on Unconditional Ministries as well as a full report from our Stephanie Wade right now at theindychannel.com.
Hiring Hoosiers is our initiative here at RTV6, hoping to highlight job opportunities for everyone in our community.
In Columbus, there's a restaurant that's providing on-the-job training and building confidence for people with special needs. Our Aaron Lish is joining us live outside of Special Dogs and More. Aaron, where did this idea come from?
Well, it's really neat because Randy and Robin, they're the owners of Special Dogs and More, and their daughter Rachel, she was going to school for special needs. She wanted to be a teacher, but she went into cardiac arrest, and after that, she developed some mental disabilities. Of course, she's a fighter. She wanted to go back to work, but that became a little bit more challenging. So they realized that there is an underserved community here that needs some help and needs a place to grow in the workforce.
In the kitchen of Special Dogs and More, Lauren Crippen tells us her favorite part of the job.
I would probably say working with the people because we work as a team.
It's a pretty unique team. The owners of the restaurant hire people with mental and intellectual disabilities.
It's not just a job where they're just learning something here. They can take these skills home with them.
They clean, separate the inventory, and help with the hot dogs.
This is something new for Parker. This is the first day he's done this.
A study commissioned by the Special Olympics shows only 34% of adults with ID aged 21 to 64 are employed. But that's something they're hoping to change here.
You know, it makes you happy. It makes you feel proud to be part of their success and to see them move on.
With less than 1 out of every 2 working age adults with ID in the labor force, Lauren is thankful for this job and strives to be the best.
It's really nice. It's a privilege, or I accept it as a privilege because not everyone can work.
So this is a really exciting time for them. They're always looking for new employees as this business grows. They actually have a ribbon cutting today because this is their brand new location. Coming up in the next half hour, we're going to talk a little bit more about this huge celebration they are having here this weekend. But for now, back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you, Aaron. The time now is 5:09. We continue the excessive heat warning across not only Indiana, but across much of the Midwest. Every single county in Indiana under this warning, every single county in Ohio, in Illinois, and in Iowa. This is an expansive heat dome that's set up here across the area, and the excessive heat warning extends into lower Michigan as well. If your travel plans take you maybe up towards Indiana State Dunes and then across the state line into Benton Harbor here over the course of the weekend. High temperatures today, couple degrees warmer than they were yesterday. Yesterday 93, today about 94 to 96 degrees across most of the area. Factor in the humidity and heat index values this afternoon will be climbing into the triple digits for everybody. It's going to be another day. You need to limit your time outdoors during the peak heating of the day. Drink plenty of water. We'll talk more about the weekend forecast for you coming up in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. Back in his home state and asking for presidential support. Next on Good Morning Indiana, the mayor of South Bend reaches out to young people he hopes will help to send him to the White House.
And he says he tried to stop the chants at a campaign rally that some saw as racist, but the video seems to show otherwise. The latest on the president's verbal sparring with a member of Congress.
And we are keeping a close eye on your roads this morning. We have some slowdowns in Fishers, heavy traffic here, and it's all because they have this construction blocking the two right lanes of southbound I-69. This is near 106th Street. So you need to slow down, stay to the left, and use caution. We'll continue to keep an eye on this and keep you updated on any other crashes or delays when we come back right after the break.
And be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 5:14 and we're still monitoring slowdowns through Fishers, southbound I-69. Some road work in the right lanes. We'll need to shift over to the left here. This is a live picture at 106th Street. We'll continue to monitor this and let you know when they pull those orange barrels back.
We now know the lineup for the next round of Democratic presidential debates less than 2 weeks away. CNN says the candidates were randomly selected from 3 different pools based on recent polls. South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg will debate on the first night, sharing the stage with 2 other top-tier candidates, Senators Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. Buttigieg was back in his home state last night, speaking to the Young Democrats of America National Convention at historic Union Station downtown. The mayor, like most candidates, trying to energize younger people to get involved.
So to come of age in the 21st century is to see virtually every major prediction and policy idea advanced by the Republican Party in your adult lifetime fail before your eyes when actually put into practice. Nothing they say actually works in the real world, which is why they say young people are idealistic. But we're not Democrats because of our idealism. We're Democrats because of our reality.
Buttigieg is the youngest of the Democratic 2020 candidates. This was his first Indianapolis campaign event since entering the race. The Young Democrats convention will hear from House Speaker Nancy Pelosi tonight.
It is 5:16. Governor Eric Holcomb recently announced that he's running for re-election in 2020, and now an opinion survey of the governor shows his approval ratings are holding steady. The latest poll from Morning Consult questioned more than 12,000 Hoosiers. They found 50% approve of the job that Holcomb is doing and 22% disapprove. 28% of the surveyed registered voters either don't know enough of his job performance or they had no opinion. Those numbers are consistent with where Holcomb's approval rating has been since he took office in 2017.
Omar has a history of launching vicious anti-Semitic screeds.
2 nights ago, President Trump let the chants of "Send Her Back" aimed at Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar continue for 13 seconds without saying anything. The New York Times reports that House Republicans lobbied Vice President Mike Pence to make sure the chants that evoke past racism are not part of future rallies. Now, after initially praising the crowd at the North Carolina rally, President Trump is claiming he tried to stop the chants.
Why didn't you stop them? Why didn't you ask them to stop saying that?
Well, number one, I think I did. I started speaking very quickly. It really was a loud, I disagree with it, by the way, but it was quite a chant.
Congresswoman Omar is a naturalized U.S. citizen who came to America as a child refugee from Somalia. Last night, she got a raucous welcome at the airport in her home state when she returned for a town hall meeting.
At 5:17, here may be one way to beat the heat. This video shot in Daytona Beach, Florida. A car that either didn't have AC or maybe it just was not enough. A wall unit connected to a generator strapped to the top of the car. Okay, I hope that isn't real because that is downright dangerous. Don't want to be behind that guy.
No. Yeah, especially if he suddenly breaks. That's for certain.
Creative, though.
Do not
I wonder if that actually works. Yeah.
We don't want to find out, Lauren.
Yeah, we don't want to know.
Justin,
all right.
You think you've seen it all, right?
Yeah. It is a hot one, though, Todd, and that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah, it is. You know, and if you don't have air conditioning, there's a lot of opportunities for you to go places to find some relief. The cooling centers, they're listed on the IndyChannel.com. You always have the library available, the mall available, places where there are air conditioning. I encourage you to use those, especially if you don't have AC at your home and if you don't like the heat, because it's going to be another hot and humid day for us. That excessive heat warning continues through Sunday. Afternoon heat index values today, 105 to 110, probably a little closer to 105 today. The 110 values are probably for tomorrow. And just kind of limit your time outdoors during the peak heat. Yesterday was our first day that we dove into this current heat wave. We've been in the 90s a couple times so far this summer, but it is certainly muggy out there this morning. 80 degrees, that is the current temperature. This dew point, 77 degrees. That is extremely high for central Indiana. Yesterday it was kind of around 72 or 73 at this time in the morning, so it's even more muggy this morning than it was yesterday morning, and that puts us on a path that we really don't want to go down. You notice the dew points will stay in the mid-70s here throughout much of the day. Extremely uncomfortable, and that's what makes this current heat wave so much different than the other heat waves that we've seen so far this year with temperatures that were in the 90s. That was more of a drier heat. This, we have all the humidity around, and that is the real big issue. 81 in Muncie, 79 in Bloomington, as well as Lafayette. 78 is the current temperature in Tipton. Already this morning, we are factoring in heat index values that are in the 80s anywhere you go. Feels like 86 in Indy, 87 is what it feels like in Muncie. So here's the hour-by-hour breakdown for you of your heat index values throughout the course of the day today. And you notice we're probably already to about 100 degrees for the heat index by the noon hour. And then as we work our way throughout the afternoon, we're still dealing with heat index values in the triple digits until probably about 7 o'clock this evening. Yesterday, to compare, I always like to compare it for you. Yesterday was probably only about from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock we were in the triple digit heat index values. So today, the duration is going to be longer during the afternoon hours. What you don't have to worry about today is any rain. These storms will stay to our north throughout the day today, this evening, if you have plans. 96 is our high temperature, 91 as the Indians throw that first pitch around 7:15, and then we're falling into the 80s. As far as the weekend goes, tomorrow, 97 degrees. It's the hottest day. That's when the heat index values peak around 110. Then the cold front comes through on Sunday night with some storms possible. The next week looks great. Lower humidity and cooler temperatures as well.
Todd, thank you so much. We're keeping a close eye on your commute to work this morning, and it's already going to be a little bit slower if you're traveling on southbound I-69 through Fishers. At 106th Street, you can see they are blocking 2 right lanes, traffic shifting over to the left, and it is moving a little bit more slow at this hour. Of course, we'll continue to keep a close eye on this. Use caution heading through construction zones. Hooping it up to reach the kids. Next on Good Morning Indiana, the reason an Indy native gives back and what's become a summer celebration tradition.
And how would you like to go to the Brickyard 400? Stick around. Coming up this morning at 6:30, your chance to win a big prize package that includes tickets to the race, the Big Country concert, and so much more. You won't want to miss it. Stick with us.
With Ashley Home Store, this is home.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 5:24, and again, we're monitoring construction. Probably the slowest traffic right now on the road, southbound I-69 here at 106th Street. Give yourself a few extra minutes if you take Fishers on I-69 for your commute. Well, the Indiana Black Expo Summer Celebration continues, and this Saturday will be the annual Saving Our Youth charity basketball game.
Indy's own Amp Harris continues to be a driving force behind the event. He says he lost count a while back, but he believes this is the 26th year for the game. This year, he's bringing in celebrities like former Colts players, legends Reggie Wayne and Robert Mathis, current Colts players Chester Rogers and Jacoby Brissett, and former NBA player Ron Harper. Harris says it's all about getting those famous people close to the young people of Indy.
If I can get these kids to see a Reggie Wayne up close, a T.Y. Hilton up close, a Miles Turner up close, now they see it and they can achieve it. And so my whole goal, because I was a product of that environment, my whole goal is to give these kids hope.
The Saving Our Youth celebrity basketball game is tomorrow night at 6 at the Indiana Convention Center. Looks like a fun time and a great event for people to go to, Todd, because it is indoors.
Right, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it's going to be another scorcher today. The second of 4 days in a row here that we have temperatures in the 90s and heat index values that'll be topping 100 degrees. Once we get past Sunday, though, look at the forecast. The temperatures come down, the humidity comes down, not only for your high temperatures, but look at those overnight lows. By the time we get to Tuesday and Wednesday morning, we're talking about temperatures in the 50s. Until we get there, though, take the precautions against the heat. 96 today with a heat index value as high as about 108 degrees.
Todd, thank you. As the search continues for an arson suspect, we're hearing from one of their victims for the first time. Coming up next, the message she has for her neighbors.
They say the hot dogs there are so good, you'll say bow, wow, wow. But it's the people at this restaurant that help make it special. Their story just ahead.
RTV6 is working for you. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
And the time right now is 5:30 here. It is Friday, and we're talking all about the heat out there.
Yeah, Lauren, even though the sun is down right now, it is 80 degrees out there. Hard to believe, and it's only going to get hotter, Todd.
Yeah, and keep in mind, our normal high, 85 degrees. So here we are at 5:30 in the morning, and we're only 5 degrees below where we should normally be for our average high this time of year. And when you start off at 80 degrees, you know it's going to be a scorcher of a day, and that's exactly what we have. The heat and the humidity continue today with this excessive heat warning in place for the entire state of Indiana. Every single county under this heat warning. 80 right now in Indy, 81 in Muncie, 79 in Bloomington, some towns here to the north for you. In your hometown of Logansport, 77 degrees, 78 is the current temperature in Anderson. Factoring in a heat index already this morning, 86 is what it feels like in Indy. 87 is what it feels like currently up in Muncie. So you don't have to worry about some rain today. We have a little bit of high thin cloud cover out there. As soon as the sun comes up, we'll burn that off, and then this cluster of storms will make its way across northern portions of Michigan here, so that will stay to our north. It's a great pool day. You're going to be in the water most of the time now, and make sure you have that sunscreen on as well. Apply it often, because if you're not in the pool, you'll be sweating up a storm, so need to reapply. 96 degrees will be your high temperature for the day today, but your heat index value gets up to about 106 to 107 degrees for the day today. It's even higher starting tomorrow. We'll talk about the weekend forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thank you. We want to take a look now at I-69 at 106th Street in the Fishers area. This is backed up due to construction taking place there right now. So you need to be aware that you will be forced to shift over to the left if you are headed this way. And once again, speeds are decreasing as you get closer to that construction. So it is important and imperative that you too slow down so that you can safely merge over. We also want to take a look right now at I-70 east of the airport ramps. There you can see traffic moving along just fine on your Friday morning.
At 5:32, with those temperatures again expected to soar into the 90s and the heat indexes in the triple digits, kids that are attending the camp at Indy Park's locations are going to spend a lot of time indoors. Staying safe in this weather is a priority. Counselors are trained to look out for signs of heat exhaustion. Kids are keeping hydrated by either using water bottles or using the indoor water fountain. Campers even use the buddy system. They're making sure that they look out for each other. And the parents, they're encouraged to remain vigilant, whether at home or at the park.
would say staying in the shape, but then also just kind of knowing your body. And if you're a parent, you know, kind of watching out for your kids and making sure, again, I think that staying hydrated and then kind of watching out for maybe the children as well as some of the older adults, just to make sure that everyone's doing what they can to kind of stay healthy when it's this hot.
We have to bring water bottles and snacks, and yeah, we brought lunch in a cooler today.
And if you do have to go outside, it is key to know the signs of heat-related illnesses: dizziness, too much or too little sweating, skin abnormalities, pulse changes, and muscle cramps. All things to watch out for. We have all the symptoms posted for you right now in the RTV6 app.
Indianapolis Metro Police still need your help identifying this man seen in these surveillance images. Investigators say he has started multiple fires on the north and northeast sides of the city. Police say one of those fires was started in the early morning of July 2nd at Aaron Grauman's home. Now Grauman is sharing a message for the community, asking anyone who might know who the suspect is to come forward with information before someone gets hurt.
It's very concerning because, you know, I don't know what the motivation is from this individual, but obviously the concern is that, you know, if there is a next time, somebody's not going to be as lucky as we all have been.
She's also encouraging people in the Heron Morton neighborhood to check for any surveillance footage that might have captured the suspect. If you know anything, please call Crime Stoppers.
At 5:34, a dummy hand grenade sale gone bad ends with gunfire in western Indiana. Police say 40-year-old Colt Cooley shot another man outside of his West Terre Haute camping trailer. According to the court documents, the man visited Cooley to sell a dummy hand grenade for $30. That's when Cooley reportedly got mad and complained about a previous drug deal gone bad. Police say Cooley shot the man in the forearm. This morning, Cooley faces aggravated battery and criminal recklessness charges. Detectives believe the bullet remains lodged in the victim's arm.
A deadly crash remains under investigation this morning in Montgomery County. State troopers say the three-vehicle crash happened on State Road 47 west of Crawfordsville. Authorities say 66-year-old Paula Martin of Rockville died as a result of injuries from the Thursday morning crash. 2 other people were also injured. Their injuries are not life-threatening. Here at RTV6, we're hoping to help you in the community to find jobs that jumpstart a successful career.
With our initiative, Hiring Hoosiers, we head to a unique restaurant in Columbus that's looking for some new employees. Our own Aaron Lish joining us live outside of Special Dogs and More. Aaron, I want to hear the backstory on this place.
So Rachel and Robin, Robin and Randy are the owners. Their daughter Rachel, she had some disabilities that developed after she went into cardiac arrest. And of course, she wanted to find a job, but things were a little bit difficult for her. So they ended up opening up Special Dogs and More to help her just grow and develop and become more independent.
For Jason Harris, he's the dining room attendant here at Special Dogs and More.
You have to fill the napkin holders, clean the tables, clean some of these rails.
They hire adults with mental and intellectual disabilities. A study commissioned by the Special Olympics indicates the unemployment rate for adults with ID is more than twice as high as those without disabilities. The owners of the restaurant say this has to change.
Like our wall says, race towards success. And to see them being able to learn things here, life skills that will carry them on through life.
Washing dishes, making hot dogs, scrubbing potatoes, and cleaning the restaurant are just a few of the employees' tasks, and they're proud to do it.
It's fun, because I sometimes even run into people I know in the community.
Supporting employees like Harris to become successful in the hospitality industry.
Sweets just like this.
But also letting them do what they love.
It makes you happy to know that you're part of helping these young men and women be successful.
So they will have a huge event downtown here in Columbus on the courthouse lawn. There will be games, food, and a lot of fun music. And all of that money will go towards a prom for those with disabilities. Back to you in the studio.
Great story. Thank you so much, Aaron. Well, Hiring Hoosiers is our commitment to provide you with jobs, resources, and training. Indiana's Department of Workforce Development and K-12 are focusing on even our youngest students, giving them some exposure to the world of work and the careers available here in the Hoosier State. state. As part of our Job Shadow Week online, schooling students got a first-hand look at the job application process during a job fair. This is at the Haaville Library. Organizers say the program teaches students about the diverse options available in Indiana's job market.
There's plenty of things out there, and that they don't have to be cornered in any type of specific job that they have. There's, the world is their oyster.
This week, students also attended a job etiquette seminar and shadowed workers at Cummins down in Columbus. They worked on resumes and elevator pitches to win over potential employers. Pretty cool. At 5:38, we do want to toss things over to Todd, and it is a Storm Team 6 alert day.
Yeah, an alert mode once again for the day today for the excessive heat warning that's in place. Yet take yesterday and crank it up another degree or two, and that's where you'll find our heat index values today. And we had to push the needle all the way into the tropics category. The dew points are in the mid to upper 70s right now. That is extremely, extremely high for central Indiana. So that is going to result in some big time heat index values. 80 degrees at 8 a.m. with a heat index value of 87, near 90 already by the noon hour, with the real field temperature pushing 100 degrees. And then by 4 p.m., 96 should be our high temperature for the day today, with the real field temperature right around 106 degrees. So it is going to be a scorcher across the area. Try to limit your time outdoors, but here's the good news. We still have to deal with the heat for the weekend, but once that front comes through on Sunday, look at the drop off in the temperatures. Monday will actually be below normal, and by Tuesday morning, we're looking at temperatures in the 50s. That doesn't help us right now, though. Make sure you take the appropriate precautions here today, Saturday, and Sunday, as we still deal with these high temperatures that'll be in the low to mid 90s.
Todd, thank you. Your next flight could have a new life-saving tool. After the break, which airline is adding a drug to combat opioid overdoses?
And a look at traffic right now to our northwest. This is I-65 at Old State Road 334. We know that the off-ramp to Whitestown Parkway there is blocked right now for some construction, and you can see cones on the road. Just a reminder, as you continue southbound I-65, you'll have to get off the interstate because it is closed for construction through Monday. We'll continue to keep a close eye on your roads this morning. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Doctor about Chantix.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Time right now is 5:43, and traffic is pretty heavy here already on I-69 this morning. This is at 82nd Street in Castleton, but you can see everything is still traveling pretty smoothly, no major delays. So we're going to continue to keep a close eye on I-69 this morning and keep you updated on any other issues. Well, Jeffrey Epstein will stay in jail while he waits to go to trial. A federal judge made that call yesterday. The 66-year-old multimillionaire faces multiple charges. He's accused of sexually abusing dozens of underage girls. His lawyers made a case to allow Epstein to stay on house arrest in his massive Upper East Side mansion, but the judge agreed with prosecutors who said Epstein was an extreme flight risk. Prosecutors just provided what they call overwhelming evidence that he was likely to flee. In a safe, actually, in his home, they found $70,000 in cash, several loose diamonds, and an expired fake passport.
Boeing is taking a major financial hit related to the grounding of its 737 MAX jets. The grounding comes after 2 deadly crashes involving the planes in the last year. The company said Thursday it will record a $4.9 billion after-tax charge in the second quarter related to the grounding. That charge comes out to be $8.47 per share. The aerospace giant is set to report record second quarter earnings next week. The 737 MAX, Boeing's best-selling jet, was grounded in March after one of the planes crashed in Ethiopia, killing everyone on board.
At 5:44, music to no one's ears, played on repeat in a place that no one would expect, a waterfront pavilion in West Palm Beach. That is the hit YouTube Kids song, Raining Tacos. It was playing over the loudspeaker at Lake Pavilion in West Palm Beach on a loop, alternating with the equally annoying Baby Shark all night long. Park managers say homeless people aren't specifically being targeted here, but one homeless man says he doesn't believe them.
It's mind control to get rid of the homeless, and I speak now as a homeless person. Where are we going to go?
Officials say they're playing the music from 11 at night until 7 in the morning, and so far the music has not stopped people from sleeping around the pavilion. Whew. Well, you don't want to be sleeping outside today, Todd, or really spending too much time outside because it is a hot one here in central Indiana.
Yeah, you know, we don't really typically get into these heat index values as high as they will be this afternoon and into the weekend very, very often. In fact, the last time we had an excessive heat warning was back in 2012. So it's been a long time, 6 years since we have seen that across the area. So today's the second of 4 days in a row that we will be dealing with the heat across the area. Highs will be generally around 95 degrees, give or take a degree or two on either side of that number. And then heat index values throughout this heat wave will generally be between about 100 and 110 degrees. I think we'll keep the 110 degree heat index values for tomorrow. That's when everything peaks on Saturday afternoon as far as actual temperatures and also heat index values. So right now, 80 degrees. That is the current temperature out there. The dew point, that's at 77 degrees. That is an extremely high number for us here across the area. Anytime you're above 65, it's starting to get uncomfortable. We're at 77, so that's extremely uncomfortable for us. It's 77 right now at the Indianapolis Executive Airport up there as you make your way into the Westfield and the Zionsville area. 79 in Lawrence currently. Shelbyville 79 degrees as well as Plainfield. And we expand out, you notice the temperatures all across the area when you factor in the humidity. These are your heat index values. It feels like 86 currently in Indy. 87 is what it feels like in the Muncie area. So today, once again, we're dealing with heat. We're dealing with humidity, and highs should get up to 96 degrees later on this afternoon, right around 4 or 5 o'clock. Yesterday's high was 93, so we're a little bit warmer than we were yesterday. And I know some people were telling me yesterday it's 100 degrees out, it's 100 degrees out. They were pulling up their app and it was showing me, and it said 100 degrees, but the official airport reading came in at 93 degrees, although in my backyard we got up to about 97 yesterday afternoon. So here are your peak heat index values going through the heat wave. Today about 105 to 106 degrees. Tomorrow a little bit higher, 107 to maybe about 110 degrees. And then on Sunday, 102. The drop off is a result of a cold front that will be heading our way, bringing us some relief from this heat as we get into the first half of next week. The storms to our north, that's where they stay. It's a completely dry day for us during the day today. But tomorrow we're up to 97 degrees for the high temperature, very hot. No threat of rainfall during the day tomorrow. Sunday, 92 degrees, so it's a little bit cooler. Still, obviously, 92 is very, very hot, but it's just colder, cooler than what will be on Saturday. And that's because of some storms that are going to be making their way into the area. So this area of high pressure that's been bringing us the heat and the humidity, that is going to start to move off towards the east. As it does, it's finally going to allow some cooler temperatures to work their way into the area, working into Monday and Tuesday, and eventually Wednesday as well. So here are your high temperatures Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Only in the low 80s. Skies will be sunny that stretch of weather. The humidity comes way down. And as we go over to the 7-day planning forecast, I want to point out the low temperatures for both Tuesday morning and Wednesday morning will be in the upper 50s with low humidity. It's going to feel absolutely great out there. But this is dangerous heat that we have to get through at least for the next 3 days before we can bring that relief in. Again, the only real threat of decent rainfall in this forecast is with the passage of the cold front Sunday afternoon into Monday morning.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We want to take a live look at your roads right now. This is I-70, a little west of High School Road here on the southwest side of town. You can see traffic there is traveling smoothly. If you're heading out the door to catch an early morning flight to kick off your weekend, no problems along Interstate 70 in this area.
Delta Airlines says it will begin carrying a medication that reverses overdoses after the fact. The company made the decision to carry naloxone after a passenger tweeted that a man died aboard one of his flights. The passenger reportedly passed out in a bathroom with a needle in his arm during a flight, and flight attendants, a doctor, and passengers could not save him. Delta says naloxone will be available in emergency medical kits starting this fall. United, Frontier, and Alaska Airlines already have naloxone available on board their flights.
Well, are you ready to live like a Brady? Just ahead in our Trending 6, how you can stay in the TV family's home.
But first, we want to take a quick check at our traffic. This is I-465 at East 16th Street. Just a few cars out there. There is construction throughout central Indiana. That's what you need to be looking out for as you head out on your Friday morning. We'll be right back.
Only at Bob's Discount Furniture.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. The time right now is 5:53, and we are monitoring stop-and-go traffic here along I-70. This is at State Road 39. So if you're traveling in this area, maybe you are heading towards the airport from areas like Monrovia, just a heads up that this is really going to slow you down. You can see the flashing lights of construction vehicles, some lanes blocked. So we'll continue to monitor this and keep you updated.
Before you head out the door, it's time for the Trending 6.
These are some of the stories that everyone is sharing online today that you'll want to know about.
Here's a story about a lovely lady and a chance for you to feel like one of the Brady Bunch. HGTV kicking off a very Brady contest. This is the wrong video.
This is not the Brady.
This is not the Brady Bunch multiplied. But the network will allow 7 fans of the Brady Bunch to live in the home featured on the program for a week. That is several HGTV stars. None of them are here dancing in Australia, including Indy's own Mina Starziak and Karen Lane, who renovated the house to match the show's interior, will also be there. Fans are asked to upload videos explaining why they should get to stay in the house.
And you know what the house looks like.
Yes.
We all know what it looks like.
And you'll be dancing like this if you win.
Well, we're less than a month out from Taco Bell opening up its hotel in Palm Springs, and the restaurant is teasing a few details about it. The Bell will, unsurprisingly, focus on great food. Promises made by the Taco Bell say that they'll have some fan favorites, and they'll have as many available as possible, and as well as some yet to be released menu items. Items like toasted cheddar club with hand-breaded chicken, jalapeno bacon, and avocado served alongside nacho fries.
Well, you may have seen Oscar Mayer's Wienermobile on the road, but have you ever wondered what's inside that rolling hot dog? It keeps me up at night, Lauren. The company is putting a road-tripping Frankfurter on Airbnb. The Beef Link can sleep too, comes with its own outdoor space, and even has a mini fridge, of course, stuffed with weenies. You can only book one night, though, and it'll run you $136.
All right. Well, a white ball of fluff crawling across the lawn had visitors in Maine very confused. This is what they saw outside of a museum on Tuesday. So at first, the folks thought it might be an albino skunk, maybe a groundhog. Well, the furry visitor was eventually ID'd as a rare baby albino porcupine. The baby is still fluffy, and that's because it's too young for its quills to harden. Very cute.
So cute. Hey, look who's back. It is the world record for the largest nutbush dance, and it has been broken at the Big Red Bash Outback Music Festival in Birdsville, Australia. The festival allegedly beat its own record set last year, which had 1,719 participants, according to the Guinness World Records. The dance is a line dance performed to the Tina Turner song Nutbush City Limits. No word if the Brady Bunch was there.
Well, a couple that lost a 20-year-old wedding album in California's deadliest wildfire now has the precious keepsake back. Mark and Mary Taylor's home was destroyed in the 2018 campfire. Along with other items lost was their wedding album. So they tracked down the photographer, whom they hadn't talked to in decades, and miraculously, photog Richard Briggs still had the negatives. Yeah, he recreated the album and personally delivered it to the Taylors.
That's so great.
That's awesome. You don't think about that as much these days, with everything being digital.
Exactly.
But, wow.
You can find pretty much anyone's wedding album now on Facebook. So yeah, it wouldn't be that big of a deal nowadays. It'd be sad, but at least you'd still have those memories.
That's pretty cool.
That is very cool.
Nick?
All right, something not cool, literally and figuratively, is our forecast today.
You know, the heat is on and it's dangerous here across central Indiana. Once again, need to limit your time outdoors. Look at these temperatures already at 5:56 this morning. We're sitting in the 70s and 80s. Heat index values are already up into the mid 80s in many locations. We're on our way up to a high of 96 degrees here this afternoon with the hot and humid conditions. It does turn a little breezy this afternoon. That's a little consolation, I guess. It'll help to mix things up just a little bit. But the heat index value today, about 105 to 106 degrees. The heat will peak tomorrow as well as the humidity, and then there will be some relief as we get into Sunday and eventually next week. We'll talk all about that when Good Morning Indiana continues on this Friday morning. The time now is 5:57. Stay with us. We'll be right back.